Hello, hello. Welcome to the stream. I'm Jeff, the creator of blindvalet.com. And this is a dev support stream. So um, the idea is that if there's users of Blind Valet that have questions, or if people just on Twitch that have questions about what I'm working on, what I'm doing, then I'll take questions and maybe even take feature requests and maybe even create features live. We've done that in the past, so um, that's option number one. And if nobody has any questions in chat, or if there's nothing else, any requests, then I'll continue working on my to-do list. So today, my backup project for for if there aren't any questions is to work on integrating some data, live data from Blind Valet to my Twitch stream. So I want to integrate that into with a Twitch overlay. So I've never built one of those before, so that's going to be a new experience. I'm basically a full stack JavaScript developer, so I've used mainly Angular. Blind Valet is mainly built with Angular. I also do a lot of React in other projects, and I've done Vue.js in the past, but it's been a few years since I've touched it, so I thought I might just build this overlay with Vue.js, since it's been a long time since I did that. So I've just before the stream initialized a new project, and we'll see if we can get some live data from Blind Valet to show up on the screen, and then we can add in Twitch data as well and so forth. So that's the plan. But like I said, if anybody's watching and had any questions or wants to say hi or whatever, feel free. So this is the homepage of Blind Valet, and this is one integration we did on a previous stream, was to when I go live, it will automatically an event from the Twitch API will call a cloud function that I've set up. So we've added a webhook, so it calls our webhook. It calls that cloud function, which writes some data to the database, and that data triggers this component to display on the Blind Valet website and in the app. So that was the first Twitch integration we did. So we have subscribed to the event when Blind Valet goes live, Blind Valet Twitch channel, and when it goes offline. When it goes offline, it'll take this down. So basically, it just goes to this project uses the real-time database. This is my dev server, but it's the same structure. And when I was building it, I set up the subscription for the dev server, so it's going to be updating the data on this endpoint as well. So it's just this announcement object gets added automatically. So watch live is the call to action text, which we see here. Watch live. Jeff is live on Twitch for a dev support stream. So that's this text here, and then the URL that leads to my Twitch stream. So that was the first integration we did. So now I want to integrate some other data, which is if we look at our production database, production database, and the data point is the events, which is basically live events that show up that are actually happening on the server. So users across the globe that are using Blind Valet, when they create an entry, it's gonna, or when they do certain actions in the application, it's gonna show up in my events log. This is all generic, anonymized, so we don't know who it is. We just know their city and country, basically. So this is the live feed right now from the website. So the last action we saw was in Paris. A player registered for a tournament. Before that, we had a new tournament created in Israel. Australia, Japan, and so forth. So depending on what time of day, we have people from all over the place doing actions. So I thought it'd be cool to kind of have when these types of events happen, to have them show up on the Twitch stream. So that's kind of show some of the interaction with Blind Valet. So and see what's happening live. So that's my idea of what to integrate into it. Then also, of course, we can integrate more classic things into our overlay, which would be, of course, like a new user is followed, a new user is subscribed, and things like that. When at some point I get approved to actually accept subscribers, but that's the idea. So basically, it's going to require a hosted web application. For overlays on Twitch, you need to set them up with where the background of the window is transparent, so that it's not going to cover up your entire stream. But you can put it in as an additional window and just have it overlay. And so whenever we put it into that web application, I add that into OBS, the software for streaming, and we should be able to see that live on stream. So that's the idea. And so, yeah, basically what I'll have to do is set up a connection to my Firebase instance to this events endpoint, and subscribe to that, so when a new event arrives, then I can display it. So it is possible we have multiple events arriving in a very short time, but typically, it's every few minutes. What I also try to do is so that I don't just have the same event. The same event, for example, when there's players registering for a tournament in one tournament. Sometimes we'll have 10 in a row from the same event. So if the city and country and the event are the same, then it just increases the count in this interface. So we probably want to do something similar, so we're not just getting bombarded with events when multiple are happening at the same time. So we'll see how we do, how that works as we go forward. So we'll basically need to subscribe to that endpoint, and there's no actual integration to Twitch when you build an overlay. It just has to be online somewhere. Then you and actually I think it'll even work for me, since I'm the one putting it up, that it'll work if I run it locally. So let's try that. So like I said, I created a brand new Vue.js project. So this is the main file. It's really, I haven't done anything. I added the router, and now I'm going to go through the steps of integrating Firebase. So I actually asked ChatGPT earlier about creating a new Vue.js project that integrates with Firebase. I use ChatGPT and GitHub Copilot on a regular basis. So I kind of look at ChatGPT sometimes as kind of sometimes when I'm working on a new language, it's kind of like a teacher or mentor, and sometimes when I'm working on a project where I already know the language very well, it's more like a junior developer for me. So I ask it to do tasks for me that are that I don't want to. I know exactly what I want, but so I just ask ChatGPT to code it in the syntax I want, and then I adjust things as needed. So it asked me to get the Firebase config. I copied that earlier from my website. These IDs are not secure IDs. They're not like passwords. I don't need to hide them from the stream. They're accessible through the client. It just gives you access to the data, and the data we're actually going to be accessing does not require any authentication. So you can see I'm just on Blind Valet's homepage. I'm not actually logged into Blind Valet, and went to Blind Valet Live and was able to see everything. So it's not private data. There's nothing to be protected. And even when you're logged in and these the API key and so forth won't help you get authenticated. You still have to go through the authentication process to actually access all the data, because everything's protected by security rules. So I've got that, so I'm going to set up this Firebase.js file like they suggest. We'll just put this in the root. It's going to be a pretty simple application, so I'm not going to put any complex data structures in there yet. So here's the Firebase config for my main data structure. Why is this giving me an error? Oh, it's assigned a value, but it's never used, of course. So we need to export that. Actually does the initialization here as well, so let's just copy that whole thing. Put that there, and then we'll replace this. And this should be, get rid of this. Okay. An overview component. Okay, so we want to create an overlay component. This is not the right code for it, but we'll just create it anyways, like they asked. Components overlay.view. Component name overlay should always be multi-word. Why? Why should the component always be multi-word? What is? I would not. I mean, that's a lint convention, but and ignoring it didn't work. There we go. Okay. So let's see. What is it doing here? Here it's connecting to the database. We're not going to do that right now. So let's just comment all this out. Width, the whole view width and view height, that's good. And so another way, another thing I do is I use the integrated GitHub Copilot, where you can chat with GPT directly in VS Code. That is off screen, but I'm just going to say highlight the text I want and say give this. Actually, I might want to do this in. I might want to do this in the overall index HTML. I don't know if there's a way you do that. In the overall app template. But I need to make the background transparent. I don't think it is by default, so well, let's just do the overlay and then we'll see if that's we need to do more. So I'm going to say give this a transparent background. GitHub Copilot is thinking. Now what's nice is when you highlight text, highlight code in your editor in VS Code, and then you ask it a question, it's going to take into it, it's going to read in the code that you highlight and then give you detail on that. Yeah, so this is giving me not what I want. It's giving me something semi-transparent, but we're just going to do background transparent. I think that's what it is. Yeah, and it's quicker just to do it yourself. Yeah, that's fine. So let's just put some text here. Just a simple tag and put Blind Valet Live, just something to have something on the screen. And I think it's on port 8080 where it's showing up. And this is still the hello world overlay, so we didn't add it to our router yet. So we need to do that. Let's actually delete out this. We don't need their components. And then overlay. We don't need this one either. And we don't need this either. Yeah, Firebase defined but never used. I know, I'm going to use it later. Okay, so we still have the home and about things up here. I'm not sure what that's about, where that's coming from. It's got to be in our app. So we don't want that. We don't want any navigation. No one's going to be doing that. Probably even using a router is overkill on this app. So we have Blind Valet Live, and let's put that in maybe a lighter color, since I'm kind of have a. Well, let's see how it looks. So Blind Valet Live. So that's on localhost. Now let me see if in OBS I can get that added. So oh, it's interesting. I put OBS on the screen. I think it's set up so that OBS won't show on the streams. So it's ignored. So I'll do this off screen, but I'm going to add a new scene, and we'll call this overlay. And so the overlay is, if I select it, it's gonna put the screen to black for a second, but I'm just going to, actually we don't want to do a whole scene. I just want to add something to my main scene. So we just want to add a source, and we add browser. And we're going to call this overlay. And there's our, our overlay. And so we just, right now we're going to call this, we're going to go to our local, local host that we're serving right now. And I think because OBS is on my local network, this should work. Yeah. So you can see, right now I'll just set the window small because it's a nice white background at the top. So it says Blind Valet Live here, and so that's our, so that's the overlay we created. So So if I change this to Blind Valet Live with 3 exclamation points and save, we should see that directly on our stream. There we go. So so that's good. So our app is showing up on the stream. So now we need to get some, we need to show the events. So let's kind of think about what we're going to need to do with those events. So if you look at the structure of the data, there's a city, country, the count for when new a new event comes in that's the same as the most recent one, then it's just going to increase the count. If another one comes in that's a different type of event or from a different location, then it's going to then it'll get rid of this one. The state isn't always, I'm showing it in Blind Valet Live, but the states, there's city, state, and country. It's really makes sense for the United States, you know, Lowell, Massachusetts, but it's less used as a convention in other countries. So BRE is Bretagne. I live in France, so this is not too far from me. I'm in Nantes, Concarneau. Quimper is also in Bretagne. Paris is in Ile-de-France, IDF. So, I mean, I guess people from those countries might know the states more, but, you know, sometimes it's just a prefecture code or something. I don't know what it is in Japan exactly. So Victoria, I think, was where Melbourne is. So I don't know if I'll show the states, maybe only if it's for the United States. And also for the actual message in the database, it's not stored as the full text, the English text. It's stored as a event message ID. Now, if anyone watching saw a previous streams, this is because Blind Valet is a multi-language application. So if you're in a country, right now it's in 48 different languages. So if you're using Blind Valet in a different with a different language, then it's going to show up. All the messages in the application are translated into those 48 languages, and so all the text strings in the application are always stored in the database. So if I want to see this event player add-on in English, then I need to go to another point in our database that is translations/English/ and then event player add-on. And we'll see a player took an add-on. So that's the translation for it. So we have to do several things. We have to subscribe to this endpoint to see when there's a new entry created. Created or modified, I suppose, because when it's modified is when the count increases. And then we're going to need to translate the message, and we need to display that on screen for a certain amount of time. We don't want it to stay forever. So, maybe in the future we're going to add sounds, add graphics, adds all kinds of things. But right now, let's just try and get the data displaying on the screen. So that's the first step. Okay, so let's go back here, and now this is our overall overlay component. What I'd like to do is also is in the future there's going to be different types of events coming in. So we probably don't want to do all that in the main component. We want to put those in subcomponents. So let's go to like I said, I'm not haven't been using Vue. So let's go here and say to ChatGPT and say create a new component that subscribes to the real-time database endpoint /events, and on creation or modification of an entry, displays a message, displays, let's say, the message ID of that object for 3 seconds. I was talking with my son at lunch today and said, maybe I could do a whole stream. Maybe I could do a whole stream where all I did was copy pasted from ChatGPT and GitHub Copilot, and I never actually wrote a single line of code myself. And my son, who's 23 years old, said, "You could title your stream "Senior Developer Gives Up," which I thought was pretty hilarious. Okay, so that being said, I haven't completely given up, but I am trying to streamline my my development process using AI. So I'm a big believer in that. So let's see what this does. This component subscribes to the events endpoint in the created lifecycle hook, listens for both child added and child changed events to handle new or updated entries, displays the message ID for 3 seconds using set timeout, okay, clears any previous timeouts to ensure the timer is reset with each new or updated event, good, unsubscribes from the Firebase events in the before destroyed lifecycle hook to clean up resources, okay. It sounds pretty good, actually. Now, there's the message styling, of course, will need to be changed, but it doesn't look bad. And so then just including this component in the main component should be enough. Event message. It's kind of generic. Maybe I should call this Blind Valet event message. Oh yeah, so it even shows you how to use it in your application. Okay, I don't get the styling in with Vue.js that I get with when I do this for React or Angular or other frameworks, but that's interesting. But this looks pretty good. So source components event message, let's do that. Components, new file, event message. Yeah, I should not have been so flippant in with this overlay and giving it a double name like they said I should, but for the moment, let's do it like this. Event message. Before destroy, what does it say? Probably need to add an import. Okay, so this has been deprecated. Fix this. Before unmount, okay. Created. Okay. Events. This actually looks pretty good. And now, we just need to include that with the import. So in our overlay, can import the event message. It's never been used. It's not used. Okay, okay. And then we're going to put this into right underneath our title, event message. And we need to add it to the components. Add it to the components of the app, I suppose. Okay. I guess my overlay is really a view, isn't it? Probably should be here. That's probably what it should be named, is overlay view. This one, these we don't need. These came with the default application, the kind of the placeholder. I guess, yeah, we add it there. Okay. What's the problem here? Imported Firebase. I think this is going to be because they've changed the way imports happen. Getting error on Firebase database. Going to ask Copilot. Oh, did I install Firebase? That's a good question. I think I did. Yeah, I did install it. When I initialized it, let's check that. Did I initialize it properly with Firebase database? Yes. Oh yeah, so this is, it's been initialized, but we need to do this, I think. It's the new way the Firebase library does imports. And then, actually not here, I'm gonna do this in the event message directly. Import get database, and then no, what does that not like it? Database does not exist on type of. Property database does not exist on type of. What does that mean? This import is good. I'm not sure what this error means. Let's ask Chat. Let's ask Copilot. I got to set up the DB variable directly in my Firebase here. And then initialize like this. And then I'm going to export, I should probably export that as well. Okay, so then here, instead of this, all I need to do is import the DB. And import ref, and we should be good, right? No, they still don't like that. This is what was probably causing problem before, actually. Here. So maybe it was okay what I was doing before. And this was actually my error here. No, it still doesn't like it. Oh yeah, it's because I didn't undo the changes here. No, it still doesn't like it. Okay, let's do let's redo this the right way. And then let's do just a random ref. Let's do a ref like that. And then we'll do a export DB and ref. Okay, and then here we'll import DB and ref from our Firebase file, not from the Firebase library. This probably doesn't like it because we have conflicting variable names. No, it just hasn't been used yet. So we get rid of this, and then we're going to say events ref. We can just do ref.child events, and that should be good. Database doesn't exist on type of, what is this thing? Okay, so Vue.js 3 Firebase real-time database. I don't really want to use the, let's just do Firebase, JavaScript client, real-time database. I'm using an older version of the library, so it doesn't import the same. Okay. Okay, so then we just do this. And then we do database equals get database. And then we can export those. I'm using a reserved word. That's probably not a good idea, but let's just call this base ref. So no confusion with the reserved word that they use. Base ref. And this will be base ref. And this will be base ref. Okay. Now, why does this not like this? Cannot find name events ref. I'm defining it. What the heck? Ask Copilot what they think. This is weird. Why isn't it giving me what? I mean, why can't I define a constant? What is? I don't understand what's happening here. Okay, you know what? Let's just start clean. Till I understand what's happening. Because right now I don't understand what's happening. I don't understand why this is all airing out. Now here, okay, it's not giving me a error. What the heck? What the heck? And what was the original object they gave me? Let's go back to this. And then we just fix the imports. Import base ref is really all we should actually need from Firebase. And then this would be base ref dot child events. Okay, that's working. This would be the same. And this was before unmount, right? Okay. I don't know what was exactly I had messed up there, but now it looks good. Okay, so we're subscribing to the child added or child changed event on our events endpoint, which again corresponds to the real events in Blind Valet. So slash events. I think I have a cloud function that cleans these out every 24 hours, but a lot happens in 24 hours on this website, so I think it's once every 24 hours I delete these all out. So here's a player does an add-on in Japan, in Sapporo, Japan. So let's see. Now we just need to put that into our overlay, which we did. The event message is there. I mean, this should be working right now, right? I didn't even notice I had a big error over my head. Compiled with problems. Okay. Can't resolve event message. Okay. Someone needs to tell me when I have a big error over my face. Now is that just crashed and now it's fixed? Let's try serving that again. No, we still have an error. Can't resolve event message view in the overlay component. Module not found, so may not be in my overall module list. It's not there. I'm importing it here, so that's fine. Just maybe not imported overall in the app, which I'm not sure where I need to do that. Must be done for overlay somewhere. It's imported into the router. So I'm gonna do something with GitHub Copilot. You can do that. You can do. There's a code name workspace, which will let it read the files in your workspace. So I'm gonna do that, and then I'm gonna go to my overlay thing. Overlay file. I'll highlight everything, and I'll say getting runtime error. And I'll give it the error I'm seeing. This is good because when you're using a framework that you know really well and that you use every day, these are obvious errors, and you say, "Oh, I forgot to add it wherever." And in this case, I'm not used to Vue, so I'm not sure why it doesn't give me an error in my editor, but it says that since we're in the overlay component, which are both in the components subdirectory, then of course this is going to go to a different directory. It's looking for it in components/components, which doesn't exist. So we have to look at the directory we're actually in, which is components, and then event message. But the editor should give me an error on that. I'm not sure why it didn't. Okay, so so we don't have the error anymore, so that means it's now running compiled successfully without errors. The problem, the thing that's confusing me is that the this is gone. So let's edit this and just comment this out, because I think it might be covering it up. Toggle block comment. Oh, now it's giving me errors because it's included, but it's not there. But I think that may be the case, is that it's overlapping it. What we can do is test here. Let's do a h3 tag and say events. No, I get nothing there either, which is strange. That's just completely empty, which doesn't make much sense to me. Okay, let's figure it out. So we have a message overlay. Just make sure this there's no background colors or anything like that, so I'm not sure why that's not showing. Oh yeah, there is. Background color white, and it's off-white. I guess what I could do is also drag this down over my face to see if that changes, but it doesn't look like there's anything in there. So background color we'll get rid of. And was there styling put on this? No. Bottom right. Now I would think this has a if on it, so if there's a message ID, which right now there isn't. So that kind of makes sense, but let's just test to see if we can get an event to show something. So let's log into Blind Valet. And we can create a new tournament, because that's one of the Twitch Live. Let's put this oops. Try that again. Twitch Live. Create a new tournament. We'll just create it now. So new tournament's created. So that should have created an event. I don't see anything on the overlay. We should have gotten something coming up for 3 seconds. So let's debug this. So events ref, child added, this show message. So it's calling this, passing the snapshot. So let's just do a console log. And call it event received. So we should see that in the JavaScript console. We should see an event received. Ah, here's our problem. dbref is not a function. Firebase 16. I think we need to do ref db slash, and we need to import ref as well. Base ref child is not a function. What? So if I do here base ref child, should work, right? Well, base ref child, not a function. Import base ref from Firebase. Base ref dot child events. Why is it half red and half blue? I'm not sure what is going on with that. Got the error over my face again. Let's move that down. What's the problem here? Base ref child is not a function. That's really weird. Do I have to import it every time, the DB and the ref? I mean, I could do that. It kind of seems annoying, but so really I don't really need to export anything from here. I just have to yeah, I don't necessarily need to import anything from here. I didn't need to initialize the app. So here, let's do this. Let app equal constant app equal export default app, and then import Firebase no, let's do yeah, but then if I don't use it, it's not going to like it. So how do I just make this code? I just need this code to run, right? I just need this code to run once before I do that, before I use it. right? Because this has to be done once, initialize app. And it just has to be done before, if I'm going to call my get database in my application. So maybe what I should do is just do initialize app here, do my get database, and then do my refs in the component. Get database, and then export, and then get database and export database. And then in my event message, I can say import ref, import DB from Firebase, and then import ref on value, ref child from Firebase database, right? And then we'll say this is equal to, so there's no base ref anymore. And then we say events ref equal to ref db and events. Okay, it likes that. And then, so we actually don't even need the child anymore because we're going straight to where the ref we need. Events ref, okay. And so we'll do the same thing here. I don't have errors all over me, that's a good sign. Events ref.on is not a function, okay. So yeah, this may be this where the using AI gets me in trouble because it's doing it from a different way. Read and write data. Hello. Listen for value events. Okay. Yeah, so the on value is how we need to do it. It's a different syntax than was being used there. And is on value going to give me reads and writes? To read a data at a path and listen for changes, use on value to observe events. You can use this event to read static snapshots of the contents of a given path as they existed at the time of the event. Triggered once when the listener is attached, and again every time the data, including children, changes. Lists of data, because it's really what we have. Listen for child events. Here we go. This is what we want. On child added, on child changed. So we need to add these into our imports. Come on, you should know this. On child changed. See, this is where the case where the data in ChatGPT is even 4 is a little bit too old and doesn't have the latest constructs. So on child added, we want to use our events ref, get the data. And what we'll just do is show message data. And so here we'll make this data and show the message ID. This should be this, that's show message. And then on child changed, we want to do the same thing. There. And then unsubscribe, detach listeners. You can remove a single listener by passing it as a parameter to off. Calling off on the location with no arguments removes all listeners at that location. Oh, that's cool. So we just need to do events ref off, and it'll unsubscribe everything from that data point, from that endpoint. Okay. Now, I'm still getting runtime errors. Okay. Events ref dot on. This should not exist anymore. Events ref. Is it just me, or is it? Why is this green? Why is this blue? It's kind of out of control, my IDE here. VS Code. Not sure what's going on, but that looks good to me. I'm not sure why I'm still getting errors in the. Oh, comments ref. I still have it somewhere. No, I don't. I think something is up. Let's restart this. Show message is not defined. Show message is just there. I think I'm going to quit out of Visual Studio Code and reload it because it seems to be out of whack right now. That's my Blind Valet code base. Let's open up the new one we just created. Code's not being auto-formatted either, which is annoying. Okay, so it's rebuilding. No errors on build. Okay. So we're back up and running with this. I guess I need to go to just my overlay component here and refresh it. I guess that's the problem, is it's crashed here. Refresh cache of current page. Refresh cache. I'm not sure why it's still giving me an error on my overlay when it's okay here. We have no errors in the console here. Let's see. I'm just gonna delete this overlay and then re-add it. I'm not sure. I've never done this myself on OBS with a local one. So let's see. Let me trash this. And overlay. Get it off my face. Localhost 8080. Okay, that looks better. Blind Valet Live events. Okay. So now, so what happens if we create an event? Are we going to see this? New tournament. Twitch Live. Confirm. I don't see anything there or here. Okay, that's all right. Now I got a bunch of event receives when I loaded this initially. That's the one problem, is I'm not sure that when you actually link it the first time, I don't know if, oh, I did get 2 event receives. So that's good. So there was, there are some events that came in. We didn't see them on the screen, but that's okay. We'll figure that out. Position fix in the bottom right. So it should be bottom right of the screen on that overlay should be, down here next to my ear, next to my left ear, I guess. Let's put font size 48 pixels to have something big, and do color. Let's do red, just so we see it well. So let's do blue. 0, 0. F should be a nice ugly blue. Now, how am I getting runtime errors now? Off is not a function. Oh yeah, I think my syntax is wrong for that. Oh, there might be, it might have been a problem with my code. Off, no. Let's go back to the documentation for working with lists. Callbacks are removed, calling the off method on your Firebase database reference. Okay, so we need to do db off. And what does that take as a parameter? You can remove a single listener by passing it as a parameter to off. Calling off on the location with no arguments removes all listeners at that location. So I mean, if I pass events ref, will that work? Errors seem to go away. Let's look at our overlay here. Refresh. So we have no errors. We don't have 1,000 events. Oh yeah, we do have it. What is going on? Look at all these events. I don't know if you can see that, but it's just, I'm at 55,000 events received. What the heck? Okay, so that's going insane. What the heck is going on? I'm doing something wrong, that's for sure. Unless my script never ran and I have 391,000 events in my database. Is that possible? Let's see. What we could do let's see, what we could do is, because I think is what is happening is that well, child added or child change, I should not get those. Retrieve list of items. This event is triggered once for each existing child, and then again every time a new child is added to a specific path. So that's a problem, because we don't want to get existing ones. It's also the problem that I thought I had a cloud function that's supposed to clean out that data, and apparently it's not working, which means I have 300,000 events in my database, which is a real problem. But what we can do is do a query. Make a query so that it only searches for events after whose create date is after today. Do we even store a timestamp, right? So let's do that. Let's do a So let's make this ref a query that orders by child timestamp and starts after current timestamp. So this way we won't get, when we load the application initially, we won't get our old events, we'll only get new events. So we need to add another import here to get the start at, right? And then let's see what they did for us here. Current timestamp, date now, that looks right. Event query equals a query with the events ref. Oh yeah, I'll add that underneath. And we need to add in the order by child as well and the query as well up here to our imports. So query and order by child. Okay, events query. And then we pass that in and pass that in. So now we should be ordering by the child timestamp. So we saw in the database that there's a timestamp for every event that comes through. Start at the current one. So we shouldn't get any events existing. We should only get new events. And then when they come through, they should call this show message function with data, and to get the actual data, you need the data val. So I had a problem here. This is data.val message ID, and then this should be okay. Let's try that. So now if we reload this, we shouldn't get 391,000 events. We should have no events. Okay, so it looks okay. There's no events coming through. Now what happens if we create another tournament? Let's delete this. We don't have a million tournaments. And we'll delete this. Add a new tournament. Twitch Live. Next, confirm. And did we get anything? Okay, event received, data snapshots. Okay, so we did get data. That's good. We're getting somewhere. Okay, so that's this console log data came through. We didn't actually see it on the screen, but let's see what that looks like when we actually get one. We can hard code one in actually. Let's set an initial message. Okay, so there's our message. That's what it should look like when it actually comes through. Or when we get a new event, this one will be replaced normally. Okay, so that's initial message. That's what it should look like. Now it looks like it's not getting updated dynamically in the overlay, because we should see that initial message should be showing up now in. It's probably because I need to refresh the cache. Refresh cache of current page. There we go. So now we got the initial message coming up next to my ear. Guess we can make that over the whole screen now since we have it in blue. Let's make this no, let's just get rid of this device window. There we go. It's still hard to see. Now this should this overlay, let me refresh it again. So we have our initial message. So let's try another event. Tournament. Hey, look, we got our event. Event tournament created. 3 seconds is not very long, but let's put that to 10 seconds. Why am I getting every time I change, I get an error. Which is what? db off is not a function. Okay. What if I just do this? Let's define the events query as a global, well, not a global, but a component-wide one. That's way this will set this to this dot events query. Place that here. Get rid of this. And then db.off. Does that work? Let's try that again. Refresh the current page so we get our initial message so we know we're back in business. This one works as well. New children insert is not a function. What the heck? Not sure what just happened there, but let's try this again. Let's try what can we do? I think we could just register a player, should give us another event. And it crashed. New children insert is not a function. What the heck? Does not like that as a component-wide variable, I guess. So let's go away from that. Get rid of this, and just do db off should work as far as the documentation says. Refresh the cache. Okay. Player registered. That was not even me. That was actually a real, I think that was a real event. I believe so. Let's check Blind Valet Live if we just had a player registered event. We did. 431. So that was a real event that came through the production system. Cool. In Britannia. In Brittany. We can see our new tournament was created. These came from me. Nantes is Nantes, Pays de Loire, France. That's where I'm at. Okay, so we have events coming in. They're showing up on the screen. That's a good start. Now let's see. So the next step is to translate those phrases when they come in to English. Since it's mainly an English stream, I'll take questions in French if anybody has questions in French. But like I said, if you're a user that came over from user that's watching that came over from Blind Valet, feel free to ask questions in chat. Ask for feature requests, whatever you'd like, and I'll be happy to help. So let's see. Where are we? Okay, so we get the message ID. That's not what we want to display. We want to look up. Actually, what we should do is probably load all. Probably just load all the translation phrases at the start. So those are in memory. We don't have to load them up, go search for it every single time. It's not a big load. So let's do, on the create, we're going to do translations. And we'll just set that to null for the moment. Not this here. What am I doing? Okay, I just did that entirely wrong, that line of code. Okay. So what we're going to do here is we're going to do translations ref equals db/translations. Thank you. And then let's load all translations into this dot all English translations into this dot translations. And see if it'll help me out. Okay. It's not on child added, that's not what we want. We want on value. Not on value either, on value. Which is not there, so we'll add that to the list on value. Also, this is not auto formatting, which is annoying me, so I'll fix that. But this looks pretty good. Let's do a console log. Let's see when we load our app if see if when we load our app we get the right values. Okay, so we have yeah, it looks like we're getting those. We just got another player registered event. Where'd that happen in? Not sure, but in Brussels. We just had a player registered in Brussels. So so we need to translate that. It looks like the translation phrases are coming through, so we can see accept newsletter, count balance, and so forth. So those are all coming through. So now we should be able to translate that on the fly by just going to our show message, and instead of message ID, actually let's change message ID everywhere, because that's not what we want. And we'll just make that message text. And then here, this will be this translations, and then use the message ID here to get the translation text for that message ID. We're already forcing it to English because we're looking at the endpoint right here, only in English. Okay. Refresh this. That looks good. Initial message. Now, a player registered. So on my screen, you can't see that. Let me scroll that up. It didn't come through correctly on the actual overlay that I'm showing here. But it came through correctly in the window that I'm showing behind, because the overlay loads when you load the component into OBS. So you have to refresh the cache if you want that to come in, if you want that to show correctly. So now this initial message should be, the next one that comes in should be translated. So if I register a player, we should see that, a player registered. Okay. So now we want to get the details, the other details. So what did we say? We wanted the city and country. So for the moment, let's do this. Let's do this, and then we'll just add on to it parentheses and city, comma, country, let's try that. What doesn't it like? DB Office is not a function. Why is this constantly saying that? Detached listeners. Callbacks are removed by calling the auth method on your Firebase database reference. Okay, so it's on the reference itself that we need to call it, not on the database. Okay. It's got to be on a ref. So we do need to get this ref. Or we just do it like this. That should be okay. Okay. So go back here, refresh, initial message, okay. Next one that comes in should give us the country as well, the city and country. It's not going to look great, but it's going to give it to us. So let's register a player here. Player registered, so that's the old one, of course. And here we have Concarneau, France. Not sure why it was coming through without the first letter capitalized, but let's see. Capitalize first letter of city. Should be an easy way to do that. I'm sure Python has a simple way to do that. I'm not a Python developer, but sometimes they have some really nice little capitalized first letter functions, things. I don't know. So this gives me a... Can I just add a function in here? I think I can. Capitalize first letter. Let's just do cap, no cap. Cap, city, and cap country. And refresh my overlay component here so I'm getting the right code. And let's try that again. A player registered Nantes, France. Player registered Concarneau, France. Big tournament in Concarneau, I guess, today. Cool. Okay, so we're getting the data. The formatting is terrible, but we're getting the data in, so that's nice. What's next? We've got our data coming in. I guess formatting. Let's see. On our here we have a different icon for each of the events. We could do something like that. Right now, I think it'd be just nice to have just a nice pop-up, decide where it is. Also, I need to resize the window here and probably put it up in the top right, I guess. We've got a Blind Valet logo in the bottom right. So one thing I didn't change is the default width and size, so I think it's 1920 by 1080 is what I want. And then make that fit. Why is it just resizing the overlay in OBS so that it fits my screen? Okay, that looks better. Let me refresh that. It's going to be a bit smaller now because the window is has a higher resolution. And then let's change the positioning. So we put that top 20 pixels and right 20 pixels. So it's in upper right. It still doesn't like my off function. Why does it say off is not a function? I need an example of how to do that properly, I guess. So do I need to import it? I thought I saw off. It's declared, but its value is never used. So maybe that's... I just call this function directly. 9th time's a charm. Player registered in Hanover, Germany. A tournament was created in Reykjavik, Iceland. Reykjavik, Iceland. Player registered in Hanover, Germany. People are playing poker on a Monday afternoon. Okay, so this is working here. So let's look at doing some styling. If I go back to my original ChatGPT session, I can say, let's add Tailwind CSS to our Vue.js 3 project. I guess you can't see the whole window here. Let me move that up. Okay, so let's do that. Let's install it. Then we initialize it. That's going to create the Tailwind config file. Configure it for the Vue files, JS, TS, JSX, etc. Okay. So we need to add that to our Tailwind file, or replace it. This basically tells Tailwind in which files to look for tags, the Tailwind classes, so that it knows which ones are going to be used for the production build. Let me add this to CSS. So our assets, no. Is there a generic styles file somewhere? So let's see, create a CSS file that will import, and then import it into main.js. Okay. Asset styles index. Folder styles. New file. There we go. And then we'll import this into main.js. You can see that something already happened because our title has changed. So that's good. Our initial message is still huge and ugly, but we'll take care of that. Yeah, so let's look at let's see. I think I created we could do a styling similar to what we did on the homepage for our Twitch stream. Something similar to this: a rounded orange border, blue background, white text. maybe 2 lines with the message, and then the city and country. Could be cool. Let's refresh this. Is ours still working here? If I register a player registered. Okay, so that's still working. So we could do something similar to this, probably bigger fonts and so forth, but if I go to my Blind Valet code base, I can find that component and use a similar styling. So let's open that up. So I'm sure I created a custom component for this, and actually a shared component because it's in the app as well as in the app as well as in the app and on the home page. Excuse me, I was thinking about 3 things at once. So let's see. Let's just copy this whole thing over. It's all in. It's a Angular component, so it's not going to be directly usable. But let's copy this over to our event message. We'll put this underneath here. Let's see. Justify center. I don't know if we need all this. It's not going to be clickable, so it's just going to be. I think we can just use the outside div. This doesn't need to be an anchor. This can just be a div. Get rid of this. We're not going to have any other users besides us. This will be just our message text. This VF we can put here. It means this will only shows up when there's a message coming in, when an event is coming in. So we don't need this. No href. What else? I know this is the this would be our main white text. Let's see. So here we can see we have an outline and we have text. The outline is in blue for some reason. Oh, I know why. It's because we're using a custom color, which they don't have here. So in our Blind Valet app, we're also using Tailwind, and we have a custom color for BV Orange, which needs to be defined. Actually, these are individual tags were defined, which is strange. It's not how it should be done. Let's fix that. So we'll go to our Tailwind config here, and we're going to want to extend theme. Extend. I think we want to do the. Was it theme and then colors then extend, right? No, theme extend colors. Okay. Extend colors. and then we'll say BV orange as a color. And then we list all our colors, and we'll get rid of all this. And that should work. There we go. Okay, so now we have our orange one, and we have the white text, and we should give this a background as well, which we didn't on our main one because it was picking up the background that was already there. So let's get the dark blue color palette as well from Blind Valet. Stay on brand. Always stay on brand. So let's do that. I hope I haven't been missing. Oh, I did. I was sorry. I have a chat client that was open, but I wasn't getting the messages. It's Derf 29 is from Concarneau. That's him in Concarneau. Cool. Very nice, very nice. Thank you for the test. I'm sorry, my chat client was not giving me updates, so let me get that reconnected. Not sure why I wasn't seeing any of the chat messages here. Let me reconnect that. Okay, very cool. So that's why we were getting those very timely messages from Concarneau, because we were getting some special tests from one of our users. Very cool. Okay, so let's now define our BV dark blue colors. This is really bad how they were defined in my other app. It was just it's a legacy code base, and some of this code was done by interns, by my employees, and the worst coder that every developer knows, which is themselves 5 years ago. That's always the worst code to look at. The coder, the developer that you curse the most in your life is yourself 5 years ago. So there we go. So now we have a new color in our Tailwind color base. Ok, merci beaucoup Durf, merci pour l'aide pour tester. Très cool. So I think it's the background we want is BV dark blue 800. Probably don't even need all these colors imported, but just do it for consistency, and then they'll only put in the production build the ones that are necessary. So we can get rid of this one now because it's a duplicate. We can get rid of this events because we don't need that. And we're gonna put a background color here because I don't think there is one. So let's say background BV dark blue 800. And so there you can see our initial message looks better. It's going to be small on the big screen, I think. Oh, also when it's full width, which we don't want. Why is it full width, by the way? Let's see, this is just class relative, the position. Let's see, if we're gonna do a class message still, let's do a class message so we can do, if we need to. Actually, no, let's just do it all with Tailwind. So let's see, what do we want to do? We want to do fixed position. I'm sure it's just fixed, right? No, it's background. That's not what we want. Position. Fixed. And then top right, bottom left. So we can do like a top 4, right 4, fixed, top 4, right 4. Okay, so then we can see our little message up there. It's just gonna be way too small. So let's do text 3XL. Make sure we have the latest version here showing. Text 5XL. Okay. Let's try registering another player. Player registered non France, so we need some padding in there. Padding X 12, padding Y 6. Looks better. Okay, so then let's how do we want to do this? We want to do separate. I mean, what if I just did this and then did city, country? What does that look like? I have like line height is like all messed up. There's some. Let's do. Let's look at. We've got a. Let's look at the Tailwind UI components. How do they do it when they do? They just have a div, a couple of divs with different formatting, I guess, inside them. Let's put him in a div. Let's put the text formatting in this class, because we'll probably have The city and country will be a bit smaller. Put those in their own div. It's just a placeholder, of course. Okay. And then we'll put this class text. Let's make it BV orange 500 and 3XL. How's that look? Now I'm not sure how good you would see that on mobile. Looks like it might be okay for on a desktop. So let's test registering of the player. Of course, I didn't pass in the city and country yet, so let's do that. So where's our message? So we're gonna have message text. Let's put city. Let's get rid of the initial message. Country. If message text, okay, so we should not have a default message now to start. And our city and country, we'll make these city. And we'll make these country. My Siri just popped on when I said city, so that's no, I don't want you. City and country, let's try this again. I'm not sure why, but it seems like I'm getting no, that's wrong. So let's refresh the oh no, we didn't set those, so that's actually is right. I'm getting hot updates now from the code. I'm not sure what changed, but I don't have to I guess it's not crashing. When it crashes, you have to refresh it from the cache, I guess. So when we do a show message data, so we don't want to pass these in anymore. We only want to put the message text in message text, and then we want to say this city equals to cap city. We still want it first letter capitalized. And then this country okay, and clear that up. Okay, so let's test that. Player registered not France. Need a little bit of the Nantes France is a bit small. Let's put that in, let's make that a 4XL. And let's give this a little bit of top margin. And I think also let's make this, I think we just do bold, right? If we want bold text. Let's see what else. Blinds are increasing, not France. Not sure what else I have. Oh yeah, the player is eliminated. Player was eliminated, non-France, cool. What else? It's pretty cool. 10 seconds is probably long right now that it's working. Let's put that back to 3 seconds probably. Let's eliminate another player. 1, 2, 3. Try again. What about a rebuy? Player rebought, Nantes, France. Pretty cool. I still think the margins needs a little bit more margin. Margin top. Oh, that's it doesn't have any margin. So I had a typo. Let's eliminate another player. A player was eliminated. Add-on. Player took an add-on. Okay. So that seems to be working. So we do have now a Twitch overlay working. So it's kind of the bare minimum, but I think it's pretty cool. Could always register a new player. I'm on the free plan with this account, so I can't register another player. I could create a new tournament. New tournament was created. I think that looks pretty good. Pretty happy with that. Now we need to host this somewhere, because I'm not going to host this on my local server, my local machine every time. I want it to load automatically when I load my apps, so I need it to be hosted somewhere. Typically what I'll do is put that on I typically host things on Netlify. So let's, this is the old one, right? Oh yeah, Blind Valet Live, I still have that text there. Which I guess it is showing up on the overlay as well, so I need to get rid of that. Which I put where? I put that in the overlay component. So this we get rid of. And I guess really this Blind Valet logo, I have it done directly in OBS, but that could also be part of the overlay, but not necessary. Would simplify my OBS configuration, but yeah. So let's see this in action. So blinds are increasing. So where are we going to put that? Let's see. I need a production build of it, which I don't even know how to do with Vue. I don't really know Vue.js. I'm just playing around with it. Let's ask our best friend. Help me deploy this app to Netlify, because it'll give me the build and the output directory and everything I need, I think, if I do it like this. So let's just see. I'm just going to bring up Netlify. Yeah, actually, I need to push it to make a repository for it. Right now, it's not in GitHub yet, so I need to put it in GitHub. So let's do a new repository. Sorry about that. New repository. Let's call this BVL Blind Valet Live -overlay. It's the name of my Vue.js project. Private. Should I make it public? I mean, it could. Probably not. Let's make it private. Create the repository. Create a new repository in the command line. I think there's already I think by default there's a git. Let me see. Let's do a git status. Tell us if there's already a git. There is, yes. With no commits. So usually I'm a bit more formal about my branches. I'll have a development branch. I'll do feature branches and merge them in. But since it's just a kind of a play project, we're just going to commit the main like a savage. So initial overlay showing Blind Valet tournament events. Okay, so that's good. Now we need to add a remote. And get branch main. I think that's default anyways. There we go. Excuse me. I may not be logged into the right Git account. Let's do that. I know it's GitHub logout. No. What am I logged in as? Git status. I mean, did it work to add the remotes? It did. Why would that say repository not found? It must be a rights issue, right? Just take a look off screen at something. Settings. I think I'm logged in on a different account, so two-factor authentication. Let's see. I miss the old days when you just had to log in. Come on. Okay, so because I have two different GitHub accounts, and one of them has the Copilot on it, one of it doesn't. So I have to make sure that they're a collaborator on this project. And I'll add them in. Make sure I accept. Accept the invitation. Okay, and so now let's try again to do our push from the command line. That's better. Okay. So our code base should now be up on GitHub. Looks good. So here's our production build, npm run build, which is what I'm sure ChatGPT told us to do, npm run build, and then it's in the dist folder. And so we'll deploy that to Netlify. So let's create a new site. Import an existing project. Okay, let's see. Got a few projects. Blind Valet Live. Oh, let's just call it BVL overlay. Branch to deploy main, base directory. That's good. npm run build, dist. So I didn't even need to look it up. It's detected that it's a Vue.js project, and it's already automatically put in our correct build command, our correct output directory. So we deploy. Site deploy in progress. We could make this a custom and put it on a custom domain and put it at something.blindvalet.com, but since really the only user is going to be me, it's not really necessary. So let's check our deploys. So once that built, then we should be able to change our overlay in OBS to the online version instead of doing a localhost version. Okay, building, deploying, cleanup. Okay. So now if we go to bvl-overlay.netlify.app, I think. Wrong. Let's see, site overview, site configuration. Okay, there we go. So that overlay looks to be working. So let's just do a quick test to make sure. Let's eliminate a player and we should see the pop-up. Or give a player rebuy. Player rebought. Okay, so that's working. So now we can change our overlay in OBS. And I'm going to put this address in instead of my local host. Instead of my dev server, I put in this one. And so now if we do an event, where did I close that? Okay. So now if we go to players, let's see, register a player, for example. There it is. So that's coming off of our production version. So it's coming off of the online version. And we just saw a real event. A new tournament was created in Stony Brook. Cool. I don't know if that's a viewer or if it's of the stream or if it's a real tournament, but We can see if there's something going on in Stony Brook, but that was Stony Brook, New York. Well, that's one thing we did say is if it's United States as the country, maybe we'll put the state in. I always kind of like to see which part of the country they're coming from. I've been living in France since 2001, but I was born and raised in Michigan in the United States. So let's see. Let's put the state in as well. So if we go back to our event message, we have city, and then let's do a span here. And we'll put a VIF if country is equal to United States, right? And then we'll put state Sorry, I'm a little bit off the screen here. And we'll put the states so if country is United States, and we'll put state and a comma and a space. Okay, and we'll add state in here. And let's see. And there we go. We set the state value as well when it comes in. If anyone is watching from the United States and is a Blind Valet user and wants to do something in Blind Valet right now to see an event from the United States, that'd be cool. Actually, we won't see it right now because it's not that this version isn't in production, so I need to test it. I guess I'll just have to test it by taking off the condition first of all. So let's take this off for the moment. Make sure the state is coming through. Take off the if condition. Well, let's just do if it's United States or if it's France. Or if country equals France, where I am. Then we put the state in. Let's try that. Irregular white space. Country, United States, or let's see. Does that need to be in a parentheses or something? What's going on? Okay, let's go to our local test server. Irregular white space not allowed. What is? It's just a space. What are they talking about? Did I put some kind of weird character? I guess I put some kind of weird character in. Okay. Whatever. Okay, so let's... oh, a club changed its clock background. I didn't even know I had that event in Irvine, California. fun. Okay, let's go back to the tournament. Let's create a new tournament, I guess. A new tournament was created in Nantes, PDL, France. And then if we take off France, then we should see just the United States. Would only be if it's the United States, to make sure it doesn't show for everybody. Pretty confident in this one. Tournament was created in Bordeaux, France. There it goes. Blinds are increasing, not France. Okay. So that should show up for the United States. We should add the state. So now let's commit that. Show state if US. Sync changes. That should automatically trigger a new deploy. So the deploy is automatically started as soon as I push the code to GitHub. Netlify detects that, and it's subscribed to events, and so it automatically starts deploying. So as soon as that is up, then our stream will be live with that. So we got some integration now into our overlay. Now has events from Blind Valet, so that's cool. I guess the next step would probably be to integrate Twitch events. So followers, subscribers, things like that. Right now it's not a big issue. I only have 21 followers, so if anybody wants to follow, I would appreciate additional follows. But I can't even have subscribers, I don't think, until I have 50 followers. So I've just started streaming. This is probably my 7th stream or 6th stream. So, but it's going well, and we've got this first part. I'm not sure if we'll do the Twitch today. As I said, we're already subscribed to a couple of Twitch events, so we've already got an API key and done some of that development work. So we've got an event when I go live on Twitch. We get this. We have a cloud function that is called to automatically populate this message, and then it's when I go off stream, it automatically takes that away. So now what we could do is have a similar component to our event component for event message for the Blind Valet integration. We'll have a similar component for Twitch events, maybe with a different style, maybe with purple colors, the Twitch purple outline instead of the Blind Valet orange, something like that. Maybe it'll show up at a different location. Maybe all of them will show up in the middle, but we don't want it to be too busy either. So one thing I didn't try is having a lot of events come in at the same time. That's probably something to try as well, to make sure it's not mayhem when that happens. Let's see if it's deployed. It is. So let's spam some Blind Valet events and see what happens. Because ideally, I think blinds are increasing Paris. Blinds are increasing in Nantes. Yeah, the way it's set up, there shouldn't be a problem because we're only showing one message at a time. Go back to look how it's designed. There's only one message text variable, so we can't have multiple messages at a time. There's only one component we don't have we're not listening to events here and putting a new event message every time there's a new event. We have one event message component that only has one text available in one city and country. And so it's the last one that wins, right? So it's the last one that's going to appear, that it's going to be displayed. So I don't think it's a problem. I mean, we might miss some, but that's fine. If there's tons of activity, then that same message will just be switching. So if we do, for example, a rebuy and then an elimination and then a rebuy, we're just getting a few messages coming on top of them. Player registered in Sweden. So so I don't think there's any problem with a player took an add-on, elimination. I think it's good just showing the last one to arrive. Maybe when I have Twitch events and I have 50,000 viewers simultaneously and I have tons of subscriptions and a hype train going and bits contributions, then I might want to worry about queuing them and making sure that everyone gets displayed so I can thank people. So that may be one. But this is really just kind of, I think it's fun. I think it's fun seeing where people are using Blind Valet all the time. Where in the world things are happening. Things are happening in Bordeaux and Japan, Sweden, Australia. We've had users create accounts on Blind Valet from over 115 countries. So people play poker everywhere. So I think it's just fun to get a little idea of what's going on in the community and where people are using it and seeing what's happening around there. It'd be kind of cool to see other things, more details. Someone just won the tournament. Might be another event we could do. Not even, to be honest, I don't remember all the events that I coded into this. We could probably look at the translation strings and have a good idea. Translations, English, because I think they're all prefixed with EVT. So let's see what we have. A new table was added. Oh yeah, so there's some things seated related. Clock background updated, club logo updated, club settings updated, league settings, new league, new user. Next level, blinds increasing, add-on, elimination, rebought, registered. Seats were drawn for the tournament. The tournament started. And then we get into other things. So we don't have a tournament has ended. We don't have a tournament was won by someone. That'd be kind of cool. We could maybe put a little trophy icon or something. Maybe some sounds. A player was eliminated. I used to have, on a very old version of Blind Valet, we used to have custom sounds, which a lot of people have asked for as well. So we may do that as a build that on stream as well, adding the ability for our paid subscribers to put in custom sounds on their app. We used to have like a bullet ricochet for when a player was eliminated, or we had a baby crying was another option we had in an old version. So that could be fun. But yeah, so I think that's where I'm going to stop for today, for today's stream. My plan is to stream again tomorrow. This week, the last few weeks I've been streaming on Fridays, but this week I've got some other things going on Thursday and Friday, so I'm going to stream again tomorrow, and probably tomorrow in the morning my time. I'm in France, so maybe an early morning stream tomorrow for me. I'm going to try out some different times of day to see how they work how they work and how much activity and participation we get. So we'll give that a shot. But appreciate Durf stopping in and giving some help with the testing, and thought it was pretty cool. So I know it's always cool when you can affect actually have things show up during the stream. So I want to do some more of that. Want to create some custom commands for the channel. I had some ideas about even having people kind of simulated hands of poker going on, and maybe every 10 minutes or something having a flop, turn, and river coming on the screen, and players in chat being able to ask to be dealt in and get cards and so forth. So maybe that's for another stream. But for right now, I'm just gonna say thanks, and whoever wants to watch, we'll see you tomorrow morning. Thanks.